Our music, our news, our views. This is Colorful Radio.
Cloud9, and you're tuned in to Sly.
They just can't stop listening to you, listening to you, listening to you. This weather, you and I still rich with love. We never had to borrow, and baby, only we know why.
I'm so glad I saved my love for you, and I did what I had to do. I invested my heart so free for what you gave me.
Open your account to me. I'll give you security, my love.
Take that to the bank.
My interest is strong. I got a love you can count on, baby love.
Take that to the bank.
Best believe I shopped around. Good insurance you have found in me.
Don't you worry.
No one can steal my heart. Our contract can be torn apart that easily.
It's live from Colorful Radio, and I've done lots of interviews over the years, and this has just got to be one of my most exciting interviews to do ever. I'm talking to a legend now, and I'll tell you the reason why I'm so excited to be doing this interview today. But I'm going to be speaking to Shalamar, and not just to Shalamar, but also to Jeffery Daniel out of Shalamar. A man that's we so well know for those iconic moves over the years and producing and singing such great music. Welcome to Colorful Radio, Jeffery Daniel.
Wow, what an introduction. Wow, you're making me blush.
No, look, I'll tell you something. We probably all remember the first song we ever bought.
Right.
We probably always do, because mine was Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway back together again. That was in 1979.
Wow.
So we know that it's like your first girlfriend, isn't it? Really?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, because it's your first love affair with music.
That's right. That's right. And I distinctly remember my first ever concert was seeing Shalamar live in London.
Really? Are you serious?
I am telling you the truth there. Now, wow. It's like 30 odd years ago, and I can't find the actual ticket stub. I may not have it no more. I do tend to keep things, but I may not have that ticket stub no more. But I believe it was at the venue in Victoria.
Okay.
Because I know you played at the Dominion later on in that year.
We did Dominion. We did Croydon Hall, Fairfields Hall in Croydon. We did a lot of places. Some places I wouldn't know because I didn't know London at that time.
Yeah.
Then later when I came into London, then I started learning places. So some places that I didn't.
That's right. I think it was early in the first part of 1982, because I think it was around about February time, sometime around that, just after the release of the Friends album.
Friends album, yeah, exactly.
But what I do have, although I don't have my ticket stub, what I do have is some memorabilia and the program from one of your concert tours of that year as well. I have it right here. I know, it's incredible. I'm going to scan it and put it on Facebook a little bit later so that everyone can see.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's just an amazing thing. Been a fan for years. Been a fan for absolutely years. And great to be speaking to you today. It really, really is.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, and mine equally. Look, we could talk for probably hours and hours and hours and hours, but I've got to condense it into a little synopsis of your career, what you're doing, what you've been doing in between, and what you're going to be doing forthcoming, of course, with the tour of the UK again. But let's start. It's always good to start at the beginning. Sound of Los Angeles, that iconic record label that produced so much, not just Shalamar, but so many other great artists. So many. The Whispers.
Lakeside, The Whispers, Dynasty, Shalamar, Climax.
Wow.
Let's go on and on and on and on and on. Eventually, The Deal, which Babyface was a member of The Deal, came from that label.
Wow. And tell us something, because we're all in London and we're listening to all the American soul. Of course, we've got the British jazz funk scene here in London and the UK as well. So a little bit different, but we still love the American soul. And being amongst so many rising stars, so many great artists. What was that like, Jeffrey? What was that really like?
I mean, for me personally, it started very young because, first of all, I'm living in Los Angeles, California, Hollywood.
Wow.
So when you're in that environment, you're going to see a lot. You go to a restaurant and there's, somebody. My godfather was Reverend James Cleveland, who was the king of gospel music.
Wow.
So here's Aretha Franklin and my godfather practicing for the album Amazing Grace in my living room when I come home from school, which one was the first gospel album to win a Grammy.
Wow.
So I was, through my circumstance, I was exposed to so much. So it was kind of natural for me. And I never thought that I would be, I'm not going to say among them, because those greats are greats. When you're talking to Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, I in no way liken myself to them, but I never thought that I would be in that industry and be respected in it because I was too busy looking at them. Billy Preston was my god brother, and he played in our church whenever he was not on the road, and when he was in between playing with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones back then.
Wow.
So there was so much I was exposed to at a very early age.
Yeah. So and that must have been a fantastic education. It must have been absolutely immense, because you're growing up with these wonderful artists who are so talented, legends.
It was intimidating.
Oh wow! I can understand that as well. I can understand that, but still, you must have been learning though. You must, although,
of course.
Yeah. That's right.
All the way to, as you mentioned, Solar. You can't mention Solar and not mention our great producer, Leon Silvers III. He did such amazing work that our music just stands the test of time.
That's right. Yeah. The production on that work, it defined Shalamar. It defined,
Yes, it did.
He just managed to capture the feeling, the mood, the sound that had to be produced at that time, and you guys were just there, and you just delivered it.
Well, it's not like in today's market, like, well, I'm not going to accuse them of this, because maybe some of them may do it like Leon did too, but there's a lot of it that don't. Somebody has a great song, and this will be good for that artist. That I like, and they could go and pick songs. Yeah. Our music was tailor-made because Leon knew our voices.
Wow.
He knew our textures. He knew our attitude. So Shalamar's music was made for Shalamar. It wasn't like, okay, that song's nice, let's do that. Oh, shoot, that's a good song. We developed it specifically for us. So I guess that's why, it goes as how you described it.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It really, really is amazing. There's so much I want to ask you, but one of the first things I wanted to ask you, as I was thinking a little bit earlier before the start of the interview, I've read about Shalamar and how the group was formatted and how it was brought together. I want you to just give us a little synopsis of that, just a quick, brief synopsis of that. Of course, it was Soul Train, out of Soul Train, and so forth. But I want you to give us a quick, in your own words, to give us a quick synopsis of that. Okay. But also to just tell us why the name Shalamar, and does it really? Okay. I mean, I've typed into Google Shalamar meaning, and I can get different spellings of Shalamar to mean different things.
Exactly.
but okay. What does
I'll
it?
Tell you that.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. The very first producer we had who put together the record Uptown Festival, which was a collage of Motown hits, that's when disco had started. And it was making a big boom. And they were just beginning to make 12 inches.
Yeah.
That producer is Simone Soussan from Morocco.
Wow.
Being that he's from Morocco and he had knowledge of the Middle East, he named us after the Shalamar Gardens, which the Sultan built an amazing garden which had about 500 people operating it. It had water pumps that operated with no machines. It had so many flowers, and he dedicated it to his wife.
Wow.
So that's where the French perfume Shalamar with a L-I. So, of course, we couldn't use the L-I because it was copywritten. So they put an A after the L, so Shalamar, but it's still like the fragrance of the Shalamar Gardens. So I wrote the title track to our second album, Shalamar Disco Gardens, because that's where the fresh funk grows. That's where the fragrance of our music comes from, So I just tied it into that.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's something that's been kind of on my mind for years and years and years and years. But you've just answered it for me. You've just answered it for me.
A lot of people, and even in the UK, I've seen some Shalamar kebab houses and things like that. Yeah. Shalamar Indian restaurant, because Shalamar, that name goes back to there.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Your love is sweet, and I know it won't die. Your love gets sweeter as the days go by. As the days go by, there are pretty faces on TV. But compared to the way you look, girl, they don't mean a thing to me. Right here with you is where I wanna be. 'Cause you're the only girl I've ever known that I can call sugar-free. Your love gets sweeter as the days go by. Oh, I'm telling you, girl, your love is sweet, and I know it won't die. Your love gets sweeter as the days go by. As the days go by. So sweet, so sweet, so sweet. As the days go by, ooh, so sweet, so sweet, so sweet, so sweet. Yeah, as the days go by, girl. Oh, so sweet, so sweet, so sweet, so we do. As the days go by.
Okay, so tell us about the early years of the music, because of course we had that first album which was Uptown Festival.
Uptown Festival.
Yeah. And
okay. Well, that album, to be honest with you, the song Uptown Festival was already put together by Gary Mumford and Kitty. And Kitty was singing in my godfather's choir. Her real name is Cleo Kennedy. And so was Jody Watley's mother. They were both singing in the adult choir. I was singing in the youth choir. Jody hadn't sang yet. She was sitting in the congregation. So Don Cornelius and Dick Griffey came across this song with this producer, and they thought the song was amazing.
Yes.
And I'm the only one that paid attention to it. I was like, my God, listen, that's great. They said, Jeffrey, you like that? I go, yeah. They built a group around me.
Yeah.
And so they asked me, did I know a girl who could sing? Jody hadn't sang it. They were going to keep Jody in the group because her and I was such, a notable dance couple on Soul Train. We were like one of the most famous dance partners on Soul Train.
Wow.
So, of course, they would have kept Jody, but they needed a girl who can sing. I immediately called El DeBarge's cousin, Mickey Braden, who I knew sang in church like crazy, but she was pregnant.
Wow.
So I started training Jody's voice to Barbra Streisand and Diana Ross. That's who she loved at the time.
Yes.
So I started training Jody's voice to theirs. Jody auditioned for Dick Griffey, and the rest is history. We didn't need another girl. We just kept Jody.
Yeah.
So Jody had it in her. She just never knew it, and we never knew it.
Yeah, amazing. So it just happened to be the right timing. It just happened to everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, everything just happened to fit in just at that moment in time. So of course, you had a succession of albums. And every one of those albums is iconic. Of course, they all had great songs on there. You know the taste of the UK fans and supporters. They probably have a different taste to their favorite songs than probably what they would have in the US or in the Caribbean or whatever the case may be. We have a very prominent rare groove scene. They call it rare groove in London.
Well, you know what?
Go on.
That threw us off sometimes because we would be in America doing something and we'd have to come over to the UK to Top of the Pops, and we would do songs that just weren't released in America at all, or they would pick songs off the album that we didn't pick for singles in America.
Yeah.
So we had to suddenly learn a song that we weren't even performing in America just to do it in the UK. So what you're saying is exactly right.
That's right.
There would be different tastes. Sometimes they were similar, but then at other times, the UK and Europe will pick a totally different song.
That's right. Because I was just going to point out, because a lot of people will ask you about probably A Night to Remember and Friends, and there it is. Of course, what an iconic album. What a truly iconic album that was. Even the images, you open up the album and the gatefold, it's just amazing. Absolutely amazing, that Friends album. But I'm going to ask you about a song, Sweeter as the Days Go By. because because that song there, certainly on the underground rare grooves soul scene in London, was so popular. It's such a cherished song.
It's in our show, and it's one of my favorite songs that we do in our show because it has that funk bottom under it, but it still has that sweet R&B flavor to it. It's a perfect combination of kind of funk and R&B.
Yeah, such a great song. In fact, all your songs are. And over the years, of course, you've diversified the music, isn't it? As the band lineup has sometimes changed as well, the group has changed. The music has diversified a little bit. Was that like something that was a focused decision to do over the years as well?
It was my fault because what happened was I was coming over to the UK in the very early 80s, and I was spending a lot of time there, and that's when that whole synth movement was coming.
Yes.
So it's also technology that changed the sound. So then I'm going back over, and in America we called it New Wave.
Yes.
Duran Duran, Culture Club, Depeche Mode, Yazoo, all the things that were coming over there, Gary Newman,
yes.
Thomas Dolby, She Blinded Me with Science. I was loving the heck out of that. And it was that whole synth-driven thing.
Yes.
So originally, Shalamar's music was guitar, bass, and drum-driven. Now music is becoming synth-driven. So we wanted to keep up with the new trend, which we call New Wave, because it was the wave coming from the UK to America. So that's what kind of dictated it. And I was so on top of it and ahead of it. So Leon said, Jeffrey, we need to, and that's how we came up with stuff like Dead Giveaway, Disappearing Act, those type of songs that are really very synth-driven and have that a more bounce of bounce in it.
Yeah. But saying that, Over and Over was a great track which went down well with the soul fraternity in the UK. Certainly did. It was a song that got a lot of radio play and a lot of play out in the clubs as well. Over and Over, a great song there on that album. Before I forget, I'm going to ask you something personal now, and it's and it's about your afro.
Oh.
you were wondering what I was going to say then. What's he going to say? What's he going to say? No.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
No, I've got several of your albums here in front of me as I'm talking to you right now. And I'm flicking back through them, and I'm looking at all the images, because that's what we miss in today's world, don't we? We miss having a physical album where you can cherish and look at the images and read the actual text and stuff like that. We miss all of that. We really do in this digital age. But I'm looking.
You know something?
Go on.
I have yet to purchase and download music online.
Wow.
I will still go to a shop and buy the physical CD because I like having it tangible. I like looking at something, and I will download it into my iTunes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's
Because
amazing.
I just love the whole experience of going into a record shop and thumbing through the shelves, and then you'll find something that you weren't even looking for sometimes.
That's
know.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's the fun aspect of it as well, isn't it? That's where it's really enjoyable, you know? Wow, that's amazing. So tell us now, because the bigger the better with the afros. and I've never, and I'm truly saying this, there's some big afros in the 70s, some huge afros, but I've never seen an afro so perfectly groomed as your one. How did you manage to do that? Come on, man.
You want me to let the secret out of the bag?
I won't tell no one.
No, I can tell everybody because that's the Afro era, and if anyone wants to go back to that, this is what they have to do.
Wow.
The way of keeping it so perfect was it has to be braided every night to keep the hair uniform. So when you wake up in the morning, you just take out the braid and just fluff it out. Not like a bunch of braids.
Yeah.
You could do it I could do it about 8 big braids or something like that.
Yeah.
Just to keep it, because if you don't, it'll be all squished up and scrunched on and slept on, and then you'll be trying to fork it out the next day, and you'll be chuckling with sometimes Afro wins, sometimes you win. But when the hair is braided, then you just unbraid it and just fluff it out.
Yeah. Wow, well,
that's how I did it.
Well, that's the secret. Unfortunately, I haven't got enough hair to grow a big afro like that now. But but that would have been a very good tip a few years ago, quite a few years ago for me. Anyway, wow, that's a great insight.
Let's take the good with the bad, like wine in a cold. Let's get it out of our system. Don't let it take control. Let's work it out, hold on. It's never too late. Let's work it out, don't let this feeling get away. With the sun there comes the rain, as with love it's got to be some pain. Don't ask me why, it's part of our life. Just as long as we are strong, and don't let others rule what's right or wrong. We will survive, just take it in stride. 'Cause when you walk away from a love that's deep within your heart, you'll never live it down. It'll tear you apart. Let's work it out, hold on. It's never too late. Don't you wanna work it out, don't let this feeling get away. We can work it out. Ooh, we can work it out. We can work it out. Ooh, we can work it out. Hey, yeah. Let's work it out. Let's work it out. Let's work it out. Oh, give it
Now,
everything.
of course, I want to touch because the classic. I've read your bio, the Shalamar bio, and of course that classic lineup was yourself, of course, Jeffery Daniel, Howard Hewitt, and of course Jody Watley, and responsible for all those great hits from the late 70s into the early 80s. But she's obviously not with the band now. You've got a wonderful, excellent singer who's doing the job superbly in Carolyn Giffey. But let's tell us about that time with Jody. Was it something that could have been sustained, or was it something that had to end up the way it is right now?
What happened was, what broke up the group in the first place was I left because record company wasn't doing good by us at all. They were doing such a horrible job of ripping us off, if you just want to put it in the short term.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have love for Dick Griffey. I mean, he put us there. He gave us our platform, and you know, all that I am came from that experience, you know, from Solar, in a sense. But business just was not right. That's what broke us up. It wasn't like we were fighting and beating him, or we hated each other. Even at the end, we kind of like, there was a little animosity between Jody and Howard that got a little deep. But anyway, so time has gone by. I've gone and do my thing. You know, Howard does his thing. Jody went off and did her thing.
Yes.
When Babyface brought us together for the remix of For the Lover in You with LL Cool J, Babyface, and Shalamar, Babyface said it was his pet project to bring Shalamar back together again and do another album. Jody was so vehemently about not wanting to do it.
Wow.
And so she didn't want to do it. Babyface met with her several times, and she was, you know, they couldn't come to an agreement, so that was that. So after we did that song and people started seeing us again, they kind of came a demand for us.
Yes.
So Howard and I got together and said, hey, people would like to see us. So I went to Jody again and asked her would she come with us, and nope. Wow. She wasn't interested in rehashing the past. You know, her solo thing is her thing. And I said, yeah, but Shalamar is a big vehicle. It can even help your solo career. But okay, so we have to respect that. And I respect it. If she doesn't want to do it, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, people make their own decision. So what is funny about it is, now that we've come together and brought the name, rebranded and brought the name back to prominence again, and we brought in Carolyn Griffey, who's Dick Griffey's daughter and the daughter of Kerry Lucas from the Solar Soul Train label.
Yes.
And we're out there doing good. Suddenly, Jody is starting her own Shalamar. Well, wait a minute. If you wanted nothing to do with Shalamar, why would you turn around and try to start a Shalamar? Huh? So, and people understand me. I love Jody. That's like my little sister. I brought her into Shalamar. She was my dance partner on Soul Train before Shalamar. So I brought her into the industry. So, you know, I'm proud of all of her successes and whatever, but if this is something that you wanted no part of and you never wanted to touch, so why would you go and create another artificial version of us? Yeah. And then not only that, and you know, I don't mean to put, you know, I'm not trying to badmouth her. No. Dislike her. You guys, if you love Jody, go on and support her. I encourage you to.
Yes.
But the fact that she fraudulently tried to register the name, and they were calling promoters telling them that Howard and I couldn't work under the name Shalamar no more. So for me to bring her into the industry and for her to turn around and try to shut us out, it was just unfathomable.
Yeah.
We couldn't understand. Is this really happening?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we're in a court decision now that's being turned back over to us because the name was fraudulently registered by her because we were already using Shalamar since 99, 2000.
Yeah. I mean,
so that's something unpleasant that we have to deal with. But I'm not trying to encourage people to dislike Jody. I still love Jody.
And I hear that, and I really do hear that, Jeffrey. It's important for me to say that obviously Jody's not here now to answer that directly, you know. Exactly. So just I have to quantify that, you know, because she would say obviously it's not, you know, I believe she would say it's not fraudulent. So I just got to quantify that so that our listeners don't jump on me kind of thing, like, you know. But look.
All I can say is, if you don't have Howard Hewitt, because Howard Hewitt is the primary lead vocalist of Shalamar.
Yeah.
So if you don't have Howard Hewitt and if you don't have Jeffrey Daniel, how could it be Shalamar?
Look, I hear you with that. What I would say, the only thing I would say is I've interviewed bands and groups over the years, and also solo artists over the years, and I always say to them, whoever it is, because first and foremost, we love music. That's what we love. The listener, the person who goes to the shop and buys the music, we love music. And you know, you can hear my passion and how I feel about your music and how great it was, you know, how much it touched people over the years. Right. And that has got to be just such a wonderful, it's got to be the most beautiful thing in the world when you can deliver something that's so nice and people just enjoy it and they're singing along every single, they don't even know the words better than you know.
they get Howard all the time, but you know what? Yeah. What you're saying, I just want to reiterate on that, because when we were doing our tour over there, this year, last year, and earlier this year.
Yes.
We go on some stages and the people are singing back. We almost can't hear ourselves. And after all these years that they just love the music that way, it gets emotional sometimes.
It's
just overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, it must be. It must be. It absolutely must be. But and just to finish off my point, all I would say is, it would be nice that we're all adults, we all grow up, and it would just be nice that sometimes people just remember those. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody whatsoever, because it's much better to love than to hate. Absolutely,
yes,
always.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just for everyone to forget the hate and or whatever it is, might not even be hate, and just concentrate on love and harmony, because that makes us stronger.
Yes, it does. And that's what it was all about. That's the reason why I got into the industry. That's the reason why we're out there working so hard in the studio and on those tours back in the 80s and building what we built. We were building, a project of love and happiness, and trying to make people's lives better, trying to give people an outlet from their 9-to-5 grind or whatever they're going through in school or going through in relationships, that they can come to put our music on and feel good about themselves. This is the difference between today's artists and our generation. Our generation music made you feel good about yourself.
That's right.
Today's artists, they're feeling good about themselves. My money, my car,
You're
my house.
so right. You are so right. You are so right with what you're just saying there. You really are so right. I tell you something.
Watching them enjoy themselves.
Yeah. No, you are so right.
Get ready, baby, tonight. Gonna make this a night to remember.
Celebrations in the heart, 'cause we're united. And there's nothing in this world to come between me and you. We're together and it keeps me so excited to think of what the power of love can do. And I'm filled with a love that's so tender.
Get ready,
Baby,
tonight.
girl, I'm gonna
Make this a night to remember. Get ready, tonight.
I'm gonna
Make this a night to remember. Make this a night to remember. Tonight. Gonna make this a night to remember. Get ready, tonight. Gonna make this a night to remember. This night you won't forget. Gonna make this a night to remember. 'Cause your love I won't regret. Gonna make this a night to remember. Let's make a toast to those who helped make this occasion. They turned their back on love, but that's what drove you straight to me. Now to you I make a lasting dedication. I'll show you all that love and life can be. And these days that I live, I will deliver. Get ready, this night tonight won't forget. Gonna make this a night to remember. Get ready, 'cause your love tonight won't regret. Gonna make this a night to remember. Get ready, baby, tonight, darling. Gonna make this a night to remember.
Brings us nicely onto, because of course, as well as the singing, you're so well renowned for the dancing and some of the moves you were doing. I mean, we were all trying to copy you and do those moves, weren't we? I mean, when you're doing your dancing, do you take a lot of time out to do the practicing, or is it something that just really comes naturally to you?
Both, because it's something that, especially back in the days in the 80s, and that's all I did all the time. I'd be doing it in elevators, down the hallways, in hotel rooms, and it was just so second nature. If it's choreography, we have to rehearse that.
Okay.
What I do personally, what I did on Top of the Pops, I put it together to the song. I got in the hotel room and got in front of a mirror and I put that piece together.
Wow.
But outside of that, I like to freestyle because it's creative and I just follow the music. I dance inside of the music.
Yeah.
So whatever song is on is going to dictate what I'm going to do because of that beat, that song,
Yes.
those words, that energy. I try to create the energy with my dancing and with my body.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's just amazing, and dancing is really good for your health. It must be because it keeps you fit, and it keeps you supple as well. Your movement, everything. It's just got to be a fantastic thing, hasn't it?
Well, I'm still on my good foot, but I'm on my bad leg. I'm on my good foot, but my bad leg.
Wow. I could talk to you for ages, and hopefully one day I can get you into a studio where we can sit down and talk for an hour non-stop, because that would be a fantastic thing. It really would be, and play some of the songs that I've loved over the years. But very important, that would be lovely. But very importantly, tell us about the future now. So of course you're going to be doing this tour in the UK, and it's a full schedule, isn't it? I've looked at the itinerary, and there's quite a few dates in there. You're going to be doing London, Margate, Eastleigh, Kings Lynn, Bognor, Guildford, Shanklin as well, in the Isle of Wight, Wolverhampton, Worthing. Goodness me. It's a full schedule.
Wait a minute. You have something I don't have. You have the itinerary.
Oh dear.
I can't keep up with all of those yet. I just know we're doing the UK tour in November and we'll be there.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. But look, for me, the most important date for me is going to be Sunday, the 20th of November. And that's going to be at the London O2. That's the Indigo O2.
That's the first one.
That's the first one. That is the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course you're going to be performing all your great songs of yesteryear. I'm sure of that. One thing I wanted to ask you, and it was on my mind as I was thinking about this interview just before we started. What's the thought process on Carolyn Howard and yourself penning some new music, some fresh music going forward?
We've got something in the can, and I don't want to talk too much about it, but guess who we went back to? Leon Silvers.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So there's something in the can, and I've been done a couple of things personally in the can with Leon Silvers, and then I have some things that I'm doing with some Nigerian artists, and I've worked in Japan. So I think I have enough material on myself for a couple of albums. But Shalamar, we finally got together this year and went in the studio with Leon Silvers.
Wow. So forthcoming. That's all you can say. Forthcoming.
Yeah, because we can't say when and how yet.
I understand.
Because now this is a totally different kind of market. It's a totally different type of strategy. So
yeah.
So that will come later. But yeah, we intend on putting something out with today's Shalamar. I just want people to know, it would have been amazing to have Howard, Jody, and Jeffery, because that's the Shalamar that people know. That's us on those hits.
Yes.
But being that Jody didn't want to do it, okay, we have Carolyn Griffey. Carolyn Griffey, her mother is Carrie Lucas.
Yes.
And if you know Carrie Lucas, you might know her dance music, but when you listen to her do her ballads and that, she has a jazzy edge, and Carolyn has that too. So she's younger than Howard and myself, but it brings another texture to it, but it fits so well. So she's not trying to copy or imitate Jody. She loves Jody to death too, because Shalamar was her favorite group growing up. She was hanging out with us when she was a kid back in the recording studios backstage at Disneyland, and she was really bummed that Jody didn't want to do it, but she never thought that she was going to do it, and she was very uncomfortable in a sense for the first couple of years, but now she's gotten used to it, and now she's earned her own stripes. So it's not like, okay, how do I replace Jody? That was my dance partner on Soul Train and my partner in Shalamar. So we couldn't just go out and grab a girl just to replace her. No. It couldn't have been done, but this was a very natural evolution, and It's Shalamar 2016, and it's amazing. And plus, we have a hot band. Oh my God!
Wow,
Our band is hot.
yes, yeah. I mean, look, like I said at the start, my first group band I ever saw in concert live, Shalamar.
Wow.
Yeah, first ever. I distinctly remember. It's like your first baby. You know, you're always going to remember. You're always going to remember. And I remember the performance, and I remember my ticket price as well. It was £6 I paid, £6
How much are tickets nowadays?
Well, you could probably pay. Depending on who the artist is, you could probably pay 50 quid, maybe a bit more, 75 quid, maybe 100 quid, depending who the artist is.
Wow.
But I wouldn't imagine you'd get anywhere close to £6 right now for a concert of that magnitude. You know, international artists
you
coming
could
over.
barely get a drink for £6.
Exactly. Exactly. But that was then. That's how the the cost of living was then, isn't it? And now it's just escalated. But it was good times, man. It was really good times.
But you can't keep running away from love, 'cause the first one let you down. No, no, no. And though others try to satisfy you, baby, with me true love can still be found. Love can still be found.
The second time around.
Ooh, a second time is so much better,
The
baby.
second time around.
And I make it better than the first time. You know I really love you, and I paid for my mistakes. Yes, I did, girl. The more I try to hide my feelings, baby, this old heart gets in the way, and love won't let me
The
wait.
second time around.
Girl, with me is better than the first
The
time.
second time around.
Let's do it one more time. Say it
The
again.
second time around.
All that I've been through, I'll do it again, just as long as I'm with you.
The second time around.
The second time. I'll make it so good to you, babe. I'll make it so good to you. Not like the first time, not like the first time, not like the first time. Talking about the second time. Not like the first time, not like the first time, not like the first time. Talking about the second time.
Can I ask you a question?
Of
I don't mean to
course.
interrupt you. Can I ask you a question?
Of course, you can.
You have to understand, this is going to be Shalamar's first time coming to the UK since this whole, I don't want to get too political,
No.
but since this whole Brexit thing has happened, and now people are in the mindset of they have separated from the EU, are separating. How is that in any way affecting socially, or the music scene, or the industry? I don't know.
Okay.
What to expect.
So the short answer is, I really don't know. Yeah, that's the short answer. I really don't know.
I think that's a universal answer.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
yeah, that's right. Because I think it's probably too early to see where we're gonna go, to even know what we're gonna be feeling when we get there. And anything can happen. To be truthfully honest, anything can happen.
That's true. It could go this way or that way.
Yeah,
so we don't
exactly.
know.
Who can predict the future? But what I would say is there has been some uncertainty. I think that's fair to say, and there has been some fluctuations in markets. But you know what? We live with hope that times will be good, and hopefully even will be better. And that's all we can go with. Hope.
Right, that's true. That's true. Well, UK, I'm here cheering for you. I'm rooting for you, and I know everything will work out okay.
Yeah, that's it. And look, we have our music, so they can't take away our food, they can't take away our music. So even if we may not be where all of us want to be, maybe some of us want to be there, certainly not all of us. They can't take away our music. Our music lives forever. And just tell us about your social media, yourself, and of course the band as well, because I know you're doing your thing in your own right as well.
Right.
But you've got a new website, haven't you? Shalamar.info.
Yeah, Shalamar.info. We have a Facebook, Shalamar Friends. We have Jeffrey Daniel Shalamar. Then we have Jeffrey Daniel Facebook and all these things. And we're trying to keep up with this whole thing that's still evolving.
Yes.
As we're going. So even that, we don't know what direction it's all going to go in. Like the music online and online industry and everything. It's still evolving,
Yeah, that's right. And there is uncertainty there, because even like when I do my radio show now, it's all about trying to get as many airs and as many listeners as you can. And of course, that is the name of the game. And it's now not radio for a lot of presenters, it's TV, because it's not just, okay, I want to hear your voice and I want to hear your music. It's like, oh, well, I actually want to see you as well.
Yeah. And you know something else?
Yeah.
It's now transitioning over from TV to handheld devices.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I used to watch videos a lot on YouTube, but now, YouTube is still on my handheld device, but now, put it like this. I still watch videos on YouTube, of course, I do that.
Yes.
But Facebook, I'm watching more news on Facebook than I do on television.
That's right.
I watch Facebook more than I watch CNN.
Yeah, because if you've got the right contacts, they're giving you all the information straight away. They're giving it to you instantly.
And the things that some major news outlets don't pick up.
Yes, that's right. It's you can scope a lot from social media. You certainly can. Yeah. I think it's still good to have a balance of everything, but you certainly can scope a lot from social media and from real people telling you real things.
Okay, wait a minute. You just hit the nail on the head. You said something very important, and I think let's back that up, because people need to understand that and listen to it. Balance.
Yes.
Don't just put everything into that one thing and just go for that, because if that thing glitches or crashes, what you have, nothing.
That's right.
So you're very right at that. You don't know what you just said. And that's what I talk about. We have to have a balance.
Yeah.
I think they should have a plan B and backup plan. Don't just put everything on this, because now a lady is crying on Facebook this morning that she had gotten a message that she thought was from Facebook.
Yes.
And they shut her account, so they were demanding her ID and all this information. So she gave it to them, and they cleaned out her bank account.
Oh my goodness me!
It wasn't Facebook, but it was somebody that was parading to be.
Yeah.
So she had everything there, and they got to everything.
Yeah, that is sad. That really is sad. I hope that she manages to recover what she lost. I hope she does. But that word balance, not enough of us use it or even understand it. I mean, you clearly do. But that is certainly not a word to be taken lightly, because it really, in life, that is really an important word. Balance.
Yes, it is, sir. Technology is a wonderful thing, but some technology, just because we can do it, or just because we can have it, should we? And that's what people aren't thinking.
Yes.
They just see the newest thing comes out. Wow, we gotta have that. Oh, that's new. Gotta have it. Do you need that?
Yeah, no, you're very right. You're very right in your thinking. Look, we could talk for ages. we really could too.
Right.
And your star sign.
Virgo.
Just like
I just had a birthday August 24th.
That's right. Just like me.
When's your birthday?
September the 7th.
You see there, I heard that greatness in your voice. I knew there was something.
Just from the way you're speaking, I can feel the click. You know, I really can. I really can.
That's why you and I have that same.
That's right. It's amazing. It's amazing, isn't it? It really is amazing. It really is amazing.
Yes.
Jeffrey Daniel, it's been great speaking to you. It's been truly.
The pleasure is all mine, and for someone who was there in 1982,
Yeah.
and someone who really knows and grew up with us in real time, that's just amazing. Just to speak to someone who was there and a part of our journey, man. And then you're even looking for the future of where we're going.
That's right.
That's even amazing. Thank you so much.
That's right. No, it's my pleasure, and I'll be supporting you and of course Howard and Carolyn, and very, very much looking forward to when you're coming over in November to perform.
Let's get together. We have to meet you, okay?
Yeah,
You're going to see you at the O2, right?
I'll be there. God willing, I'll be there, and I'll be bringing all my albums.
Right now.
I'll bring that program as well. from
We'll sign them all for you.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. That'd be wonderful. That really would be wonderful. You know, Jeffrey Daniel, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure.
The pleasure is mine, and I want to say to all your listeners, bless you all. Thank you all very much, and I hope you all come out and enjoy our show, because it's a great show, and you're going to come out and have a good time. Feel good music. Feel good music.
Wow, lovely. Jeffrey Daniel.
Thank you. Feel good music.
Wow, lovely. Jeffrey Daniel.
There it is, what took us so long to find each other, baby. There it is, this time I'm not wrong. But I knew the answer to why people fall in love. But then I found I knew nothing about it till I met you, girl. I thought that I had enough. Now I'm sure I've always been without it, and it feels so good that you and I can come together. Ooh, baby, we both found what we've been looking for, and this time I know we're gonna make it better. Our heart is a key to open up the door. Don't have to search no more. There it is, what took us so long to find each other, baby. There it is, this time I'm not wrong. In the sea of love we set ourselves when waters were rough, two in search of love with no direction. Fish were biting at the time, but catching wasn't enough. We couldn't make a sport of our affection, and who would dream that we would sail into each other? Ooh, girl, I never felt away from love so strong, and this love I never felt in any other. I trusted like a lighthouse guides the ship to land. I found it when you touched my hand. Ooh, there it is, what took us so long for a love so strong. There it is. Ooh, there it is. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. And it's about time for love to find its way back home. Girl, you're mine. Now that we found love, we've got to carry on. There it is, baby. There it is. This time I'm not known, not alone.
Radio, colourfulradio.com worldwide. Got to say thank you so much to Jeffery Daniel for that wonderful interview. I really enjoyed that. We got together about 2 weeks ago to do that, and I really enjoyed it. I really did. One of my best ever interviews. Hopefully you enjoyed that as well. And don't forget, come and see these guys. They're going to be performing around the UK in November. And check out shalamar.info for more details on that. The song underneath me now, of course, you know it. You know all the songs, don't you? There it is. And that from the taken from the Friends album, of course, from 1981/82. Before that, we played you the second time around. And that was, of course, from 1979, and that taken from that rather iconic album again, which was entitled Big Fun. Absolutely loved that. Absolutely, totally loved that one. And of course, we also played you A Night to Remember, classic Night to Remember, of course, with, of course, that being the one where he did all those wonderful dances, didn't he? Those amazing dances. The one and only, of course, Jeffery Daniel there. And we also, of course, played you another great song, which was Work It Out, which probably doesn't get played so often. That taken from 1980 from the Three for Love album. And just in front of that one, we played Sweeter as Days Go By. And that from 1981 from the Go For It album. We started off the interview with Take That to the Bank, that classic iconic sound from the 70s, from the album Disco Gardens, and of course once again Shalamar. Just finishing off the hour now with a great song, another great song from the Look album, and this is Over and Over. Once again, thank you to Jeffery Daniel, and also a big shout out to Shalamar Friends and all the team behind it, and of course to Howard Hewitt and Carolyn Giffey as well.
A breath of fresh air, that's what you are to me. When I need that room to breathe, you're part of me. You're always right there. I look into your eyes and I see how hard it is. The fight was meant to be. I'm giving in. Can't fight a love so strong. Oh, don't stop, keep it coming on and on. You're like sweet music.
Great sound there. Over and Over, Shalamar.